Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Today, Cittahattha Thera Vattu, the story of Cittahattha Bhikkhu from Dhammapada. Anavotita Cittasa Zadama Avijanato Paribalawa Basadasa Penyana Bripurati Anavasuda Cittasa Ananwa Hata Cittaso Punya Papa Pahinasa Nati Chakra Dobayam. Wisdom never becomes perfect in one whose mind is not steadfast, who knows not the good teaching and who faith wavers. There is no fears for an awakened one, whose mind is not saddened by lust, nor afflicted by hate, and who has gone beyond both merit and demerit. This Dhammadesana was taught by the Buddha when he was living in Savatthi city, with the reference to Cittahattha Thera. There's one man who is living in Savatthi city. One day, he lost some of the his ox in the forest. Then what happened? Then he went to the forest to find his lost ox. Then after no time, he found his ox. Then he put into the hut. Then he was hungry. He was hungry. The whole day he couldn't eat any food. Then he saw one monastery. Then he went to this monastery. There may be remaining food in the monastery. His intention is to find the remaining food from the bhikkhus. Then he bound down some bhikkhus and Bande, is there any remaining food? I am hungry. According to his request, the Bhikkhu Sangha also know, there are remaining food. We just finished eating. Then you can go and eat this remaining food. Then he go and eat the remaining food. But he saw a lot of delicious food and very good food there. They are remaining foods from Bhikkhu Sangha. Is it? Then he ate this remaining food from Bhikkhu Sangha. Then after that, he approached the Bhikkhu Sangha after washing his hand. Bande, do you have any invitation from the village today? Why? You have many good food, very delicious food here, which is remaining. Then the Bhikkhu said, no, we have such kinds of food every day, not because of invitations. We receive such kinds of very good and delicious food every day in the monastery. Then when the Bhikkhu answers to this young man, then he thought, I walk very hard every day. Although I am working very hard every day, but I couldn't eat such kinds of delicious food in my house. But Bhikkhu Sangha, they have delicious and good food every day in this way, then it will not be useful to stay as a lay person. I should ordain as a bhikkhu. What is his intention? To eat delicious food, is it? Then okay, he decided this and okay, I will ordain. Then he approached the bhikkhu and Bhante, please allow me my ordinations. Then Bhikkhu Sangha also allowed him his ordination. Then he became a bhikkhu. Then after becoming a bhikkhu, then he eat a lot of delicious food every day. How many days? A few days only. Then he became fat. When he became fat, what happened? Then he was not satisfied as a bhikkhu again. Maybe he missed his wife again. When he became energetic. Then, okay, Bhante, I'm not happy as a bhikkhu. Then I am going to disrobe. Then bhikkhu also cannot do anything. Then they also allow for his disrobing. Then he disrobed and went back to his house. Then, the same way, he also walked as a layperson. Maybe he is farmer, isn't taking care of the ox and cow, etc. Then after a few days walking in his house in the forest, then what happened? He became tired again. Then he missed the bhikkhu life again. Oh, I am walking every day in my house, but I can only eat poor food, not delicious food. Then it is not useful to stay as a layperson. Then I will go and ordain again. Then he went to the monastery and then he also requested for his ordination. Then bhikkhu also allowed him to ordain. Why? When he was a bhikkhu, he was a dutiful bhikkhu. He did everything. He do everything, whatever bhikkhu wants. That is why he is very helpful to Bhikkhu Sangha. Because of this reason, Bhikkhu Sangha also allowed him his ordination. Is it? After a few days eating, then he became fat. Then he missed his wife again. Then he disrobed. Then he walked his job in his house a few days. Then he became thin again. He became tired and okay, the bhikkhu life is better. Then he went to the monastery and ordained. Since he can do many minor and major things in the monastery, then he is very helpful to Bhikkhu Sangha. Then Bhikkhu Sangha also allowed for his ordination. In this way, 6 times. How many times? 6 times. Ordain and disrobe for 6 times. Then actually there's a reason, no? Okay. Then the 7 times after walking a few days in his house, then he became tired and thinner again. Then okay, he decided to ordain again. That time, 7 times. Then he brought his equipment, his things from the forest to his house. After they put those kinds of things in some place, then he also kept his robe in his room. When I want to ordain, then that may be ready with the rope. Then that time he is going to ordain, then he went to his room in his house. That time, his wife was sleeping. His wife already got pregnant within this 6 time ordination. See? Then his wife was sleeping in the room. Also, no clothes in her body that time. Then what happened? Then saliva also comes out from her mouth. Then she also sleep with the open mouth, wide open mouth, like this, is it? Saliva also coming out. Also no clothes in her body. Then when he go and take his robe in the room, then he saw his wife's conditions. Then what happened? As soon as he saw he have asubha senya, the possessions of foulness. Oh, anicca, dukkha, anatta, is it? Then after my ordination, I disrobed for 6 times because of her. I had attachment to her. But, she is actually the asubha, disgusted. She is very disgusted with her body. Then that time, okay, I should not have attachment to her. Then he took his robe, and taking his robe, then he went to the monastery. Then when he come out from his house, his mother-in-law saw. His mother-in-law also stayed the same compound with the another house. Then why he came out carrying the rope quickly? Then she wished to know. Then the mother-in-law went to the room. Then she also saw her daughter's condition. That time sure he will never return to the house again. Then she asked her daughters to wake up. Then, hey, my daughter, then your husband is going to the monastery again to ordain. That time he will never return to the house again. But she does not believe, is it? His wife does not believe. No. As you said, after a few days, she will return to the house. She said like this. Then, the man also went to the monastery by bringing his robe. That time, he saw asubha nature of his wife's body. Then on the way, he was also reflecting on anicca, contemplating anicca, dukkha, anatta. Finally, he became Sotapanna on the way to monastery. Is it? Then when he reached the monastery, then he also requested for his ordination from Bhikkhu Sangha. That time Bhikkhu Sangha rejected. You ordained in this robe for 6 times, many times already. That time we don't want to allow for your ordination. Your head like the grabbing stone. Then we will not allow for your ordination that time. Then he also requested, Pandey, please allow me for my ordination. Please allow me for your ordination. Then when he requests many times, then Bhikkhu Sangha also allow for his ordinations. That time, this is the 7th time. After ordination, then he also practiced meditation diligently. Before ordination, he became Sotapanna already. Then he continued to practice his meditation as a bhikkhu. Then he became Arahanta together with, Patisambhita and psychic powers, analytical knowledges and psychic powers together. Then that time, usually after a few days his ordination, he disrobed and returned to his house. That time, he didn't do this. He stayed as a bhikkhu for a long time. Then many bhikkhu sangha from the monastery also get confused with his condition. Oh, that time you are very long. You are very long to stay as a bhikkhu. What is the reason? Then he answered, last time I have attachments to my wife. Is it? Because of this reason I disrobed after a few days of ordination. But that time I have no attachment to anything in the world. Or he answered in this way. That is why I don't need to disrobe again. Why? Disrobing is because of attachment, is it? But he has no attachment, that is why he don't need to disrobe again. Then when he said this word to the Bhikkhu Sangha, then Bhikkhu Sangha, oh, this Bhikkhu is declaring his attainment without any attainment. Like this. They think like this. Then they also inform the Buddha. Bhante, this Bhikkhu declared with his Arhata Phala attainment. He says he has no more attachment. Then the Buddha also confirmed, yes, last time he has attachment. Because of this attachment, after a few days ordination, he disrobed and went back to his house. But that time he has no more attachment. Because of this reason, he will never disrobe again. Or the Buddha says to the Bhikkhu Sangha by saying those stanzas. Is it? Anawatita Cittahattha Sadhamma Avijjana Do Pari Balawa Basadasa Peñana Pari Purati. The wisdom never becomes perfect in one whose mind is not steadfast, or his mind is not, stable. Then wisdom will never be perfect at the time. Because of this reason, he became a monk and he disrobed again in this way. How many times? 6 times. Then the last ordination is the 7th times. Then at that time, his wisdom became perfect, or his mind became stable. That is why he don't need to disrobe again. Is it? Sadhamma Avijjana Do. He does not know any of the good Dhamma. The time. Okay, another one is Anawasutta Cittahattha Ananwahata Cittahattha Punya Baba Bihinata Nati Jagra Dobyan. There's no fear for an awakened ones. There's no fear for the wise men, whose mind is not sudden by lust. His mind is not wet with the raga, nor afflicted by hate. His mind is not afflicted by hate, dosa. Is it? And who has gone beyond both merit and demerit. That means, when he became Arahanta, whatever he do cannot consider as kusala or akusala, merit or demerit. Only just kariya, mere action only just do. It is not considered as kusala or akusala. Is it? Nati jagara to bhayan. There's no fear. There's no fear for such kinds of awakened men. The Buddha answer with this stanza. Then the Bhikkhu Sangha also know the realized Nibbana, become Sotapanna, etc. Is it? Then one day, there's a conversation within the community of Bhikkhu Sangha. This Bhikkhu, or Cittahattha Bhikkhu, he has already fulfilled the parami to become Arahanta. He has potentialities to become Arahanta, is it? Why he disrobed for 6 times after ordination? Then defilement is very dangerous, or they are having such kinds of composition. Then the Buddha also came there and yes, the defilement is very dangerous. Kilesa is very dangerous. If Kilesa has a kind of form or shape, what will happen? Like Rupa. Then, if we can collect, for example, the defilement, Kilesa in one place, put the defilement, they are also arising the defilement, you are also arising the defilement. Okay, collect all defilement and put in one place. What will happen? There's no space for the defilement. The defilement will be full of universe. Is it? Full of universe. There's no space for the defilement. Then it will reach up to beyond Brahma realms. Not like the small mountain, no? Full of Deva realms, the Brahma realms. The kilesa is like this. Because of this reason, kilesa is very dangerous for everybody. The Buddha says. Actually, there's no word to describe for him. Even when I was fulfilling the 10 parami as bodhisattva, I also have such kinds of experience. Then when he began to say in this way, then Bhikkhu Sangha also requested the Buddha to explain his past story. Then the Buddha also explained. When the Buddha was fulfilling the 10 parami, then one day in Varanasi country, he was a young man. Then he walked in the paddy plantations. He has one blunt spade, a kind of tool to deck the earth. Then he also have the seed bin. Then he cultivate those seed bin in the rainy season. Then when it began ripening, then he also eat. Then he also keep some amount of seed bin for next rainy season. Is it? Then after doing so, then when there are summer season and winter season, then he ordained as hermit. Then he went to Himalaya mountain for meditation practice for 8 months. He stayed in Himalaya mountains for 8 months by practicing meditation. Then when the rainy season comes, then he remember his blunt, spade, the tool to dig the earth, and also his bin seed. Then he returned to his home. Then he also cultivate in his paddy field for 4 months. When it began ripening, then he also eat. Then he keep some amount of seed bin there in one place. Then he went to Himalaya mountain after ordination for the second time. In this way, 6 times. Then the 7th, the last time. The last time, the 7 times. He came back to his house from Himalaya mountain. What happened? He remembered his tool, his spade, and the bin seeds. This is rainy season, then I shall go to cultivate my bin seed. Then he mixed his bin seed and the spade tool to cultivate. Then 7 days, the 7 times he ordained as a hermit. Then he remembered, then because of this plant shape and seed bin, I'm disrobed already 6 times. This time maybe I should not disrobe. Then what happened? He decided to throw this seed bin in blunt shape into the Ganga river. Then carrying this seed bin in blunt shaped spade. Then he went to the bank of the Ganga river. Then tied each other tightly. Then round them for 3 times. Then he throw this, the spade and seed bin, bin seed together, closing his eyes. Why? When he opened his eyes, then he will throw these things into the river, then he will see where it falls. Then after that, maybe he will go and take again. And that is why, then, not to see where it fall down, then he closed his eye and he threw as much as possible. Then after that, he does not remember where it falls. Then when he opened, he does not remember where it falls. Is it? Then then he, Jidame, I am conquered, I have conquered. Like this, he shouted loudly. At that time, Varanasi can also conquer the enemy in the corner of his country. Then he just returned to his royal palace. On the way, then he also stopped in this place near the Ganga river. Then he was preparing to take shower in the Ganga river. Then he also heard the shouting sound. Jidame, I have conquered, I have conquered. Then he was surprised. I just conquered the enemy. Then who is conquered again? Then he saw the one easy, the hermit is shouting, I have conquered, I have conquered. Then he approached this hermit and then he asked, I just conquered the enemy in my country. What are you conquered? Then he asked this question. Then the easy hermit also answered, your conquering is only just external conquering. My conquering is internal conquering. He answered, why? You conquer the enemy. Next time when they become strong again, they will fight you, then they will conquer you again. Then you will lose again. But my internal conquering will never be conquer me again. I completely conquer my internal enemy, lobha, especially attachment here. He had attachment to his spade and seed, bin seeds. Now he completely conquer. He will never destroy again. By saying this Dhammas to this Varanasi king, then he also see the river, the water from the Ganga river. Then he immediately developed water kasina. Then he attained psychic power. Then he flew in the sky, and by standing in the sky, then he also gave many Dhammas to the king of Varanasi. After his Dhamma talk, king and all of his followers became hermit. Easy, they don't return to his country. He has many disciples hermit. Then the other king they also have the news. Varanasi king already ordained as a hermit. Then we will go and take his country. Then one king came with his follower. When they reached the Varanasi country, but very quiet, empty, no people there, all ordained as hermit. Although this country is very very developed, but they also relinquish the country. Then maybe ordination is higher than this one. Then he also approached the hermit and he also ordained together with his follower. In this way, then the other king from the other country also had the news. They also came and ordained under the Bodhisattva. They became hermit. 7 countries, seven kings, together with their follower, ordained under our Bodhisattva. Ordained as a hermit under our Bodhisattva. Then they also practice meditation. Then that time, the hermit, the Buddha was the hermit. Is it? Even Bodhisattva already fulfilled the 10 parami many thousands of words, but because of attachment, I also disrobed for 6 times, not only my son. Then the Buddha explained his birth story. Then at the end of the stanza, then the hermit passed away with the jhana, then he became Brahma, etc. Then at the end of this Dhamma talk, the story, the many listeners became Sotapanna, etc. Okay, then after ordination, they disrobe how many times? Here, 4 years of my age, I ordained as Asamanera. Then only just for 7 days, then disrobe. Then next time, maybe about 10 years of my age ordained, 1 was 3 months. Next year, every year I ordained during the Vasa, then disrobe, maybe about 4 times. Then, 12 years of my age, after the primary school, I ordained until now. Good. That's it. Then here, the Cittahattha, Thera, he will become Arahanta in this very life. But because of attachment, he ordained and disrobed for 6 times. That 7 times of his ordination, then he will never disrobe again. Is it? Because he destroyed his attachment with the Arahata knowledge completely. Then, if you don't want to disrobe, then trying to destroy your attachment. Even no need to go back to your country, is it? Then only just stay as bhikkhu or siali, may be able to practice to destroy the attachment, may be able to realize Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Sukhi hotu, Nibbana pesyo hotu. Sadhu, sadhu, anumodami. Sadhu, anumoditavam. Kamami kamitavam. Sukhi hotu, Nibbana pesyo hotu.